And also in last video we saw how it is important to maintain job run history of our data load. We also saw how to implement that. So let's do a quick recap of that. So in last video, basically we created this particular table wherein we are maintaining that entire job run history. The table is DW job run summary. If I run this query, there are no records. So let's start our execution. So if I do CLS and if I start the data load, there are 7 different tables in HR database. My job is pulling all those records from all these 7 tables and loading corresponding staging tables. Okay. If I query my summary table again, so this giving me the information like all those 7 tables got loaded successfully and how many records got processed. It also giving me the information like at what time a particular table load started and at what time that table load ended. Okay, if I run my data load again, it will create another set of entries. So 7 rows, right? So if I query it again, I should see 14 records. Okay. Now only one thing which is not correct in this table is job run ID. Okay. Ideally, when I ran my job or when I started my load for very first time, this job run ID supposed to be 1. When I trigger it second time, this job run ID for all those last 7 records supposed to be 2. So what job run ID tells us, it should tell us how many times a particular job has ran. Okay. And now why we are seeing this 0? Because in last video we passed that value as 0 hard coded. Okay. In every function. So every function call we are passing the value as 0 hard coded. Now ideally this value supposed to be a variable, and how that variable should get initialized. So there has to be a query. So our program should find the maximum value. So it should find maximum value of job run ID. Okay, and it should add 1 into that. So if I run this again, since there, so ideally in ideal scenario, since we ran it for 2 times, value I should get right now with this query is 2. I should add 1 more into that, and so value would become 3, and that 3 should get passed over here. Okay, in ideal scenario. But so let's try to achieve that. What I will do, I will first truncate the table. So if there are no records, what this select statement is giving me, it's giving me null. Okay, so what I will do, let me write another function here. Let me go back to main.py. I will another function def set job run id. All right, and I will declare another variable called SQL query equal to, okay, so this is my select query. So far so good. Now I need to trigger or execute this query against data warehouse database. So what I will do, I will get the target connection object, cursor object, and cursor dot execute, and select select SQL query. Okay, and let's close the connections. Now we don't have to commit anything because we are not inserting it, just a simple select statement. So I'm closing it. Okay, now so this select query is returning one record, okay, or one column, one record. Okay, so I should grab that value, okay, and I need to process that value. So what I meant is if it returns 2, I should grab that 2 and I should add 1 into that. Okay, so how would I do that? So if I check in my fetch records, I will grab this for loop. Okay, it's happening same thing. It's we are running the for loop on our cursor. Okay, so I will copy the same code. Okay, and let's print that entire row. Print row. Okay, what I will do, let's run it again. So right now there are some records. Oops. Right now there is one record, so there are no records. Okay, so if I run it, this query, the same query which we are running in Python, so it is returning null. So let's see. Oh, one thing which I forgot is I haven't called this function. Okay, now remember one thing, I should have this job run ID same for all 7 different tables. So when I trigger a load, I should first set this job run ID. Okay. Now if I keep this, if I call this function under this for loop, it will get call for 7 times because there are 7 different tables currently. Okay. Now that's why I should call this function definitely before insert record, but I outside of this for loop. So what I will do is I will call this before for loop itself. Now if I run this, the value I am seeing is 0. There is, because there are some entries, and maximum value for this job run ID is 0. So this query is returning 0. If I run this, I should see that 0 value. Okay, as you can see here, I am seeing this value as 0. Okay, first entry in our tuple. So if I truncate it, now this query is returning me null value. If I execute my program, I'm seeing, instead of null, I'm seeing as none. Okay, so very first time, so I will again declare another variable because our ultimate aim is to initialize this variable. So let me first initialize this variable. What I will do, I will initialize that variable outside this equal to 0. Okay, now if I need to initialize this with, I will assign that value, row value, to our job run ID. And for very first run, if this equal to none, not row, if job run ID equal to none, then I should initialize that with 1. Okay, I will assign 1 value to that. Else, I should increment it plus equal to 1. This is fine. And let's print it. Print value of is. Okay, now remember one thing, we'll see that, I will explain you. We are printing that inside job run ID. We'll also print that same value. Okay, I will inside set job run ID. Let me copy this guy and I will print it after this function call. After this func function call. Okay, let's run it again. Unsupported operand. Okay, so if it is, what's happening here is at line 39, it failed. It failed over here. So it's saying if it is none, so that means it's not going inside this particular block. Unsupported operand types are plus equal to row and int. Line 39, it's failing over here. Job run ID. So it will go in this loop. What I'm missing here, it's passing this initializing this. Oh, okay. It should not be. I should fetch the first element. I should not assign that as row. I should fetch the first element of it. Now it should work. Okay, let's check this. So value. So what happened here is this query ran. Okay, which returned the value as 0. Okay, that then that 0 get assigned to this job run ID. Okay, since 0 is not equal to none, so it definitely went into this loop and it got incremented. So it got assigned as 1. Okay, 0 plus 1 equal to 1 and it printed as 1. But now if I go back, scroll down, after this function call, when I'm printing it, so it is printing that as 0. Why is that? Reason being, this job run ID is defined outside of this function. Okay, it's defined globally. Whereas this particular job run ID is not a global. We it's creating its own variable here. Okay, that's the problem. So if we want Python to refer to this our global variable and not creating a separate local variable here, what we need to do is we need to declare that global this. Okay, now it will refer to this global variable. It will not create its own local variable inside this function. So let's run it. So if it runs now, I should see 1 at both the places. See, 1 1. So now it's referring to a global variable. It's not creating its local variable inside this function. That is what we wanted. Why is that? Because we need to pass this variable. We need to pass this variable in this function call. And this function call is happening outside of this function. It's referring to global variable. It's not referring to local variable inside this function. Okay, that's why we need to deal with the global variable and not the, that's why this statement is required, so that this function will not create the local variable and it will deal with this global variable only. Okay, now all these things are ready. Only thing which is pending is we need to pass this global variable here. And since we are passing extra variable, we need to change the function definition as well. So let's go back here and I will add, oops, perfect. Okay, one last thing, we need to replace this 0 with actual variable. Forgot in this exception block. All right, and over here, done. What I will do now is, let's truncate this table. I should see null and let's run it. Oh, it failed. What it's saying? Required position this main.py. Main.py missing. Where it is failing? Line 79. Insert into regions. If I go back to regions, yeah, I have the second one. What I am missing? Missing one required positional argument. I am passing it. Maybe I might have not saved it. Let's run it again. Yeah, I did. I haven't saved it, so it's working. So very initially the value supposed to be null. So it must have gone through this statement. Got it must have initialized that to 1. Okay, and if I run this, okay, see it's 1. Okay, now if I run it again, which is a second run, let me execute this entire thing. See, it's a second run. And if I run it a third time, I should see it as third value. Perfect. So this is what we're expecting. Okay, see third. One, two, three. Okay. Now, so what all things we have completed so far? So we finished with this entire full load with Python. Now in next video, we'll see how to load ODS table using staging tables. Okay, we'll create only one ODS table, and as I said, ODS table will have history. We should maintain history in ODS table, and with the help of staging tables, we'll see how to populate ODS table. Okay, thank you for watching this video.